everyone. Welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Abby. I'm with Witt Family Fit, and my husband and I have lost a combined 120 pounds on the Optavia 5&1 program in the last about 10 months. This is our first holiday season on plan, and I know Thanksgiving can cause a lot of stress for people with the question of what do I eat? So what I'm gonna do today is realize one of my dreams, which has always been to host a cooking show, fun fact. And I'm gonna host a cooking show today to show you what I'm gonna make for our Friendsgiving Optavia style that we are having tonight. Now tonight is Tuesday, it's a couple days before Thanksgiving, but I wanted to make sure that I could put this out there before I go to bed tonight so that you guys could see that it really is possible to stay on plan. So like any good cooking show and any good Thanksgiving meal, we are gonna start with dessert, okay? So before I put the turkey in the oven, I have a little recipe that we can use some of our healthy fat and some of our lean to create still a decadent dessert that kind of is reminiscent of what we might be used to for Thanksgiving. Okay, so this dessert is gonna be on plan, and it is meant to eat as a fueling for when you are done with your meal, maybe like 2 hours later before you go to bed. So I have a 6-inch springform pan here, and this recipe is gonna make enough for 2 people. So you're gonna get half of this cheesecake as your fueling and part of your lean. So the first step is, I already did it. I sprayed my pan with some cooking spray. I used canola oil. And now I have a small little bowl, and the base for this dessert is the Optavia brownie. So I'm gonna do 2 of the Optavia fueling packets, okay? These are the decadent chocolate brownie. Now remember I said you're gonna share this with someone else, okay? So that's why I'm putting 2, you're gonna have half, okay? So that's gonna go into my bowl. And then the next thing is I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of water. Okay, now I am not making this obviously according to package instructions because I want this to be kind of like a cookie crust, okay? So it's not going to be as thin of a batter as you might have done just following package instructions. In this little glass, I have melted 1/2 tablespoon of butter. That is half a tablespoon of butter, which if you follow your healthy fat guide, that is enough for 1 healthy fat for 1 person. Since we're dividing this recipe into 2 and splitting it, this is gonna be 1/2 of a healthy fat per person. And you'll keep track. I'm going to try to kind of split screen this a little bit, and on the right-hand side of the screen have the recipe so you can follow along. That's my plan. So I'm just gonna insert this butter into my bowl, and I'm just gonna use a small little spatula to mix it up. It should be like, you know when you make a graham cracker crust for a cheesecake, that's kind of like the texture you're gonna want it to be, kind of like wet sand. If you need to add a little more water, you can, just based on how it comes together that day. But it should be kind of like a wet sand consistency, and this is gonna make kind of just like a cookie kind of bottom for our cheesecake. So I'm gonna finish getting this mixed together, and you know what, I think I might go ahead and add another tablespoon of water, okay? Just to get it a little more wet. And then I'm gonna press this into the bottom of my springform pan. I'm gonna show you what it looks like when it comes together. This is the right kind of consistency, just wet sand. And then you're gonna press it into the bottom of your springform pan. We're then gonna cook this in the oven on 350 degrees for 15 minutes. Once we take it out, we will add our filling, which we're gonna work on in just a second. So I'm gonna get this all pressed into my pan and go pop this in the oven for 15 minutes. Okay, so while that crust is in the oven baking, we're gonna make the filling for our cheesecake. The base of this filling is going to be one of these containers. It's a 5.3 ounce of low-fat Greek yogurt. I have the vanilla Too Good version. So I'm gonna pour that into my bowl. And as you know, yogurt can count as a lean on plan. You can have 12 ounces of low-fat Greek yogurt on plan for a lean. So I'm doing 5 ounces, okay? And so that's gonna be split between 2 people. So it's gonna be like 2.5 ounces per person, which is 1/6 of your lean, okay? So we are going to only have 5, well, we're adding an egg in here too, to be fair. So we're gonna have about 4.5 ounces of turkey, which I'll get to later. But for our dessert with the yogurt and the egg, our dessert is going to count as 1.5 ounces per person of the lean. And that is from our 2 Good yogurt, which was 5.3 ounces. I lost my egg. And our 1 egg, okay? So this is gonna be 1.5 ounces off of our lean. So we'll have 4.5 ounces per person of turkey plus half of this cheesecake. So I'm gonna put those 2 things in, okay? So the next ingredient that I'm gonna add is 2 tablespoons of low-fat cream cheese. So this is gonna count as 1 condiment per person, okay? So I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons, and that's gonna be 1 condiment per person. That's gonna give you that cream cheesy taste that you're so used to having with cheesecake, or a condiment. And then also, I'm going to do 3 tablespoons of pure pumpkin puree. And this is gonna take just a little bit off of one of your veggies, okay? This is gonna take maybe like half of one of your veggie servings. Not even, but just take a little bit off our veggie for that. But that's your 3 tablespoons of pumpkin puree. Also into my container, I'm going to put, or into my bowl, I'm gonna put half a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, okay? Which, this could be like, I guess, debatable, but I have never on plan, don't mind the screaming children in the background, never on plan have I ever counted spices like this as a condiment, and I will tell you why. If you look at your condiment list, it tells you to, but I just can't justify cheese being the same as a 0 calorie whatever, as long as you're drinking all your water. Now, I will say if I'm using something that has salt or carbs or sugar, obviously I count it as a condiment. But I'm gonna do, this is a quarter measure, so I'm gonna do 2. I need half a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. It smells so good. And then I'm also gonna do half a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. No calories, and it really ups the flavor profile of your meal here. Okay, so 2 quarters. It's a half, okay? So I am gonna take the help of my KitchenAid mixer to mix this up. So I'm gonna walk over there, which I don't have my ring light all set up, but I will bring back this batter and show you the beautiful color that it is once I get it. So for those of you that are counting, we have 1.5 ounces worth of a lean in here, plus 1 condiment with my cream cheese. And I did just a little bit off my veggie. It's probably like 1/4 of a veggie. It was only 3 tablespoons of pumpkin. So I'll probably just do a little less than half a cup for my cauliflower mash serving. I can't believe I forgot this, but I'm also going to do a stevia. It's just gonna be half a packet per person, so I am not gonna count that as anything. This is not something that I use on a regular basis, but for Thanksgiving, I think it's a really good option just to sweeten this cheesecake just a little bit. Okay, so you can see when it's all mixed up, this looks exactly like a cheesecake batter. It smells delicious with those spices, and it's gonna be great. As soon as I pull out my cheesecake from the oven with the hot top and everything, I'm just gonna go ahead and pour this batter in, and then this is gonna bake in the oven for 35 to 40 minutes on 300. So it was on 350 for the crust. I'm gonna turn it down to 300, and you wanna bake it 35 to 40 minutes until it's set. And I will definitely include a picture of it when it's all finished. And while that's baking, we're gonna get the turkey prepped and ready to go. So this is our dessert, the decadent chocolate brownie pumpkin cheesecake. All right, guys, so for the next step, we're gonna work on our main dish, which is our turkey. However, in my opinion, you can't have turkey on Thanksgiving without cranberry sauce. Now you might be saying, Abby, you're crazy. We know fruit isn't approved on plan. I know fruit is not approved on plan. However, if you were going to eat a fruit on plan, cranberries would be a good option because, well, one, you're not just gonna pop raw cranberries. You wouldn't do that. But there is no fat, no sodium. It has some fiber, there's 0 sugar. There are 6 grams of carbs in half a cup of cranberries, okay? So what I'm gonna say is you could have a 1/4 cup of this cranberry sauce because it's gonna condense down, so there's gonna be more carbs than, it's gonna reduce by half, let's put it this way. But what I'm gonna do is I am going to put this bag of cranberries, it's 12 ounces, into a pan. I'm not adding any sugar, I'm not adding any orange juice, I'm not adding any of the things that you normally add. You guys are gonna laugh at me and be like, what? But it's true. Sparkling ice, right? You've had it for special occasions, your 0 calorie drink or 5 calorie drink. We are gonna do 1 cup of the orange sparkling ice into our cranberries, and we're gonna bring it to a boil. And we are going to, sorry, I was picking out some of the ones that were gross. We're gonna bring it to a boil, and we're gonna reduce it down, and you can have a 1/4 cup of this for your healthy snack for the day. So it's 6 grams of carbs and a half a cup of raw. So it's gonna reduce by half. So we will count it as 6 grams of carbs and a quarter cup, and that will be your healthy snack for Thanksgiving. That's how that fits in. If you had an Optavia popcorn or something like that, it has 6 grams of carbs in it, which is what we're going by, and no sugar on this. So that's how I'm justifying the use of fruit for Thanksgiving on plan. I will show you what this looks like. Once again, it's 1 cup of the orange sparkling ice into 12 ounces of cranberries, cooked till it's reduced, and looks like regular cranberry sauce. No one's ever gonna know. I will add, guys, that I did throw a dash of cinnamon in there. Once again, you've heard my spiel about spices, like literally less than 1/8 of a teaspoon. But it brings that familiar warm flavor you're used to with cranberry sauce. All right, guys, on to the star of the show, the turkey. Okay, so we're gonna keep the main thing, and we're not gonna add a bunch of junk to this turkey because we're just gonna keep it simple. The first tip I have for you is you're gonna put your turkey breast up, and then you're gonna tuck your turkey wings under your turkey. It actually just helps it cook more evenly, and it helps it just not burn the little tips of the wings while it's cooking. So sometimes you have to kind of shove them. They don't always want to stay. My turkey's been thawing in the fridge for like 4 days now. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to literally shove a lemon, a washed lemon, into the cavity of the turkey. I took out the giblets and everything. And I'm gonna shove in also some sage and some rosemary, okay? So I'm just gonna do some fresh herbs, shove it right into the turkey cavity with my lemon, okay? And this, we're not gonna eat any of this, guys. It's just gonna give the aroma and bake thoroughly into the turkey, okay? So we're just gonna shove that all right in there, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is wash my hands. And then I'm gonna spray the top with nonstick cooking spray. So give me just a second. I wanna wash my hands from touching the raw turkey. I'm gonna spray the top with some nonstick cooking spray. No butter, no oil. We're keeping this Optavia approved here, guys. I'm just gonna give it a liberal spray just because I don't want it to burn, okay? And then I'm just going to put some of that same sage and rosemary that I chopped up. Just sprinkle it over, okay? Just some fresh herbs. I'm also gonna give it a quick little sprinkling of just some black pepper, which doesn't want to open. And then I'm gonna put some lemon on top too. Once again, you won't be eating that, but it's gonna just infuse down into the turkey, okay? And you're gonna cook it uncovered for the first part. And I'm just gonna like, I don't know, we're just gonna kind of lay them on there. This is actually a secret, my first time cooking a whole turkey. I've done turkey breast before, but we're faking it till we make it. We did our research, okay? So I've got my lemons on top of my turkey breast. We're gonna cook, we are not eating the turkey skin, by the way. That is not what we're gonna eat. We are gonna eat just the meat. If you're gonna do white meat, like I said earlier, the white meat would be accounted as a leaner. And you can get 6 ounces. If you were gonna do dark meat, you would count it as a lean and you would get 5. However, we did use 1.5 ounces in our dessert, so you'd have to adjust it accordingly. If you're having white meat like I am, go white meat. My husband likes dark meat, so if you're having white meat, you're gonna want 4.5 ounces of turkey. If you're having dark, you're gonna do 3.5, just with the dessert. So I'm gonna get this put in the oven, and then I'm gonna cover it probably halfway through cooking once it's all brown to keep the breast nice and tender and juicy. So that is gonna be my lean for our Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, so I did want to show you how the cranberry sauce came out. It looks so delicious. Let me just get a fork here. You can have 1/4 of a cup on plan for a healthy snack. Okay, I just wanted to show you guys this cheesecake. Smells amazing. That's what it looks like when it comes out, just like a cheesecake. We are gonna let it cool and then take it out of the pan, and it will be ready to plate up for tonight. Guys, I would also venture to guess that this made such a big cheesecake that you might only want like 1/4 of it instead of 1/2. And so you could have some more turkey if you did that way. It's really just being flexible and keeping all the ratios and everything added together. But for some people, this would be a lot of cheesecake to eat. Oh, are you saying hi?
Hello.
Okay, friends, so the next thing that we're gonna make is one of our side dishes for our green portion of our meal. And for that, we're gonna be using riced cauliflower. So this recipe is gonna make 8 servings, and I'm only gonna make the servings be a half a cup each. One, because I think that the green beans and mushrooms should get a bigger serving of 1 cup, but if you wanna flip-flop that, that's fine. Just know you have to adjust healthy fats and condiments accordingly. So what I'm gonna do is, for 8 people, I am going to put 4 cups of riced cauliflower into a boiling pot of water. Okay, so 4 cups of riced cauliflower are going to a boiling pot of water for 10 minutes. I want this to be relatively mushy enough that I can puree it using my food processor. So 4 cups, 10 minutes, boiling water. So this recipe also calls for 1 tablespoon of butter, which would be, if I'm gonna divide 1 tablespoon of butter 8 ways, 1/8 of a tablespoon is 1/8 of a healthy fat, or I'm sorry, 1/4 of a healthy fat. So this is an extra 1/4 of a healthy fat, but I think it really makes a difference in this recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and use it. Additionally, it calls for a 1/4 cup of light cream cheese. And so once again, split 8 ways, that would be about a tablespoon. And so not even, that would be about half a tablespoon, which also counts as half of a condiment. So if you split this recipe 8 ways, it's going to be 1 serving of green, 1/4 of a healthy fat, and 1 condiment per serving. Okay, so another little trick on plan is they do make lower sodium gravy. So this can count as a condiment if you choose to use it. It's totally up to you. But you can do 1 package of this mixed with 1 cup of cold water, and then there's 4 servings per container. I would say if you could limit your gravy use to 2 tablespoons, that would be excellent, because there are a lot of sodium in here and there are 3 carbs in here. But this reduced sodium gravy is what you would want to do to top those mashed potatoes that we're about to make, if you so desire. I have to show y'all how beautifully this cheesecake held together and slid right out into a different pan. So it really smells amazing, looks amazing. I think this dessert is gonna be a huge hit, guys. Okay, so I have my hot pot. It's filled with the cauliflower that I just cooked. I drained it using a colander, poured it back in. I'm gonna put my 1 tablespoon of butter, and then I'm gonna put my 1/4 of a cup of the low-fat cream cheese. Remember, it seems like a lot, but this is making 8 servings, so it's gonna be divided 8 ways. And I'm just gonna mix that up. I am also going to put 1 teaspoon of garlic, okay? And I'm gonna use fresh garlic into my mashed potatoes, mashed cauliflower. I actually have a potato masher, which works really well to just get stuff kind of creamy. This cauliflower, since it was riced, I'll wait till I'm done talking to you that you can't hear me. Since it was riced, and then I cooked it for 10 minutes, it was really mushy enough to be able to do this without any sort of problems. And this is a great thing to make ahead and then reheat later in the day, which is what I plan on doing, okay? So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of fresh rosemary and some garlic, and this is gonna be a delicious side dish. Remember, I told you can top it with your gravy if you decide. Okay, so another helpful trick, if you like your stuff really creamy and you really don't want to know it's cauliflower, you can use a blender to blend it smooth, and it'll be like a little watery when you do it that way. But if you put it in a pan and then heat it in the oven, like if you make it ahead of time and then put it in the pan, let it be in the fridge, and then heat it in the oven later, it really draws the moisture out of it when you cook it in the oven and dries it up a little bit. And it's a much more potato-like consistency if you do it that way versus with just the masher. Just a little trick. All right, guys, so the very last thing I need to do to get our meal ready before we plate is to do the rest of the veggies. So we know we're gonna do a half a cup of that cauliflower mash. We're gonna do 1 cup of a mixture of green beans, these are fresh green beans, and white button mushrooms. So I am just going to keep these super simple. I'm going to blanch the green beans for about 5 minutes. Then I'm gonna saute the mushrooms in the meantime with a little bit of cooking spray, some pepper, put the green beans in there, and toss them around and call it a day. We're gonna keep the veggies super simple since we used all of our condiments and everything else with the other dishes tonight. So what I'm gonna do is get all that done, and then I am going to put together kind of the plate. I'm gonna weigh out the meat, put together the serving so you can see on a physical plate how much food this really is and what you're able to eat that's still lean and green approved for Thanksgiving. I am also going to be inserting all of the details, recipes, and everything. I haven't edited a video like this before. I usually am just like a real life vlog style. So, I'm not sure exactly how that's gonna look, but I promise I will get you all those recipes somehow, some way, whether it be in the comments or actually included in the video. But I wanna thank you guys for following along, and hopefully this gave you some good ideas for how you can still make Thanksgiving very festive, but keep it on plan. Thanks for following along today, guys. All right, guys, the turkey took a little longer than anticipated, but like I told you earlier, was my first time cooking a full turkey. So here it is in all its glory. So I am going to show you guys how I plate up all this food and how much you really get to eat to be part of the lean and green meal. So here we go. I'm going to slice 4.5 ounces of turkey and get that on my plate using this food scale right here. You wanna weigh your meat or your protein with a food scale while you're on program. All right, guys, I have our food all plated up, and I have to tell you, when I look at this plate and when I look at the portions on this plate, I think to myself, there's no way that's on a health plan, but guys, it is. It's all weighed, it's all measured, it's all perfectly proportioned according to your lean and green, and I'm gonna zoom in here a second and show you. But if that doesn't look delicious, that is a completely 100% lean and green approved Thanksgiving dinner. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found something useful in this video, and I wish you and your family a very blessed Thanksgiving.